appreciated. We're joined with the head coach of the Jamaica senior men's national team, Coach Steve McLaren, as we go through and unveil the squad for the upcoming friendly internationals against Trinidad and Tobago. A reminder, that's February 6th and February 9th. February 6th at the Montego Bay Sports Complex in St. James, and of course, February 9 at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex in Kingston. A reminder to all the media coming in, please put your devices on mute. And secondly, if you are not dressed appropriately, also turn your camera off as well. That will be greatly appreciated. So to commence proceedings, we're going to have a few opening remarks from our head coach, Coach McLaren, and then after that, we'll get right into the squad. So, Coach, good morning. How are you doing?
Okay, ladies, gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be back in Jamaica. I've been here for about 10 days. Bit of scenery, bit of culture, and lots of football and lots of planning because since the new year, this is it. This is World Cup year. That's the aim at the end, to make sure we're in it, and a lot of planning before that. I think a great initiative, which started, I think, last year, was to get the local players together, the best players, to have a camp to play an opponent. And I thought that was a great idea. We've assembled that camp. We play Trinidad, big rivals. And in the meantime, I've watched 4 or 5 games. I'll watch 2 more on Sunday, 2 more on Monday. And then we get the squad together for Tuesday, play Trinidad on Thursday with the second game on Sunday, which I'm looking forward to immensely. One, because I want to work with the local players, and 2, it'd be great to see Dwight York, who's just become manager, head coach of Trinidad. So watching games, and I must say relying a lot on Meron to assemble the players, to give me guidance, which he has done. And through him mainly and other contacts, we have a squad of 28 players, of which 15 are uncapped. And as we say, the rivalry is there. And the aim of the camp, many people ask me, what's the aim of the camp? I say it's very much short term. It's very much geared towards World Cup qualification. So it's geared towards the here and now, with also within the squad 2 or 3 youngsters we need to look at for the future. But basically, what I'm hoping for, like what happened last season at this time when they had 2 games against Trinidad, 3 players emerged from that camp and became regulars in the squad for the Reggae Boyz senior national team. And that was great to see. That was Kaheem Dixon, Richard King, and Shaq Juan Davis. So that was good. If I get another 3 coming from this camp to improve our squad, to improve our team, that's what I'm looking for. That's the incentive of all the players coming in, and that's the incentive of everybody involved in this campaign, including the supporters, including everybody, not just on this island, but who is following Jamaica outside the island. Everything is geared towards the World Cup. So 28 players we have, starting with goalkeepers. Shaquan Davis, we know well. Jamali Wade, we know well. Benjamin Williams, I watched him the other day against Mobay. So I was impressed with him. We have a young one, Joshua Grant from New York Red Bulls, 17, who's played for the under-17s, under the 20s, and is really coming for experience. Just to have a look at him. The defenders we have, top of the list, Richard King, obviously from Cavalier, 22 caps already, becoming a regular in the squad and needs to push now to be a regular in the team. Giovanni Lang from Cavalier, Christopher Ainsworth from Cavalier, Gadale Irving from Mount Pleasant, Robinho Gordon from Vere, Kyle Ming, Mount Pleasant, Fitzroy Cummins, Mount Pleasant, Stephen Young, Portmore, Sule McKellar, Mount Pleasant, Malik Howell from Las Vegas Lights, centre back 26, one of the best defenders in the USL, and one that we want to have a look at. The midfielders, Anglin from Mount Pleasant, Demario Phillips, Morbay United, Romeo Guthrie, Portmore, Dwayne Atkinson, Cavalier, Shamar Watson, Cavalier, Daniel Green, Mount Pleasant Academy, Nathaniel Howe, Chapelton Maroons, with the forwards, Warner Brown, Arnott Gardens, Ronaldo Biggs, Racing, Shanil Thomas, Morbay United, Jalmaro Calvin, Cavalier, Kimoni Bailey, Mount Pleasant, Raheem Edwards, Mount Pleasant, and Kimani Boyne from Arnott Gardens. So that is the total squad. And as I said, looking forward to meeting them next Tuesday, where we have a camp, everybody together, in 2 games.
Thank you very much, Coach. Much appreciated. At this point in time, folks, we kindly ask you to raise your hand, and once you're indicated, then you can unmute and you can pose your question to Coach McLaren. So let us start with Matthew. Please go ahead, Matthew.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning.
Morning.
Matthew.
Jamar Calvin is one of the top forwards in the JPL this season, and he had previously represented Antigua at the youth level. I just want to know what went into that conversation in terms of him making the switch, and what are his chances in terms of the future for the national setup.
Yeah, he's look, we know through contacts, obviously also through Mr. Speed, that Calvin is a player from the first time I watched Cavalier at the beginning of the season, and in their campaign I've watched them many times through the CONCACAF, and congratulations to them on winning that. That was a magnificent achievement. He's one I've really admired. And at the beginning, when I saw him, I said, yeah, I wanted him for the squad. And they said, no, he plays for another country. So we hear, obviously conversations go on, and we hear that he would like to represent Jamaica. So we're delighted to include him in that and give him the opportunity to show us what he can do. I've seen him in the games already. I know what he can do, but to work with him firsthand and to have a good conversation with him about what he can contribute and how we so much want him to be part of the Jamaica setup.
Matthew, do you have a follow-up?
No, I don't. Thank you, Simon.
All right, thank you very much, Matthew. We can move on to next person. Please raise your hand and indicate. Okay, let's hear from, I think this is Tyrone Davis. Go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Simon. Thank you for this opportunity. We know that some of the USL players are out. For instance, Tyrone McKee is not included. He's out. He's in Jamaica right now, training. Why he's not included in the setup?
Tyreek.
Yes.
Yeah. Tyreek, he has opportunities, I think, in Europe, where European teams are showing interest in him. I know he's in Jamaica. I know he's been training. I also know that, I can't divulge any information or secrets, but I do know that he may have an opportunity in Europe, which he is obviously looking at, and we respect that. Yeah, he must sort his club future out first. So we wait to hear from him when it's decided at the end of the window where he's going to be playing his football for the rest of the season.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right, Robert, go ahead.
Yes, Coach. Robert here, Jamaica Observer. Playing against Trinidad, Coach, what would be the main focus for these local-based players going into a game like this? What are some of the things you'll be looking for, and what are some of the things you plan to implement with these local players?
First and foremost, it's a big rivalry, and as we say, there are no friendlies in football. And when you play for Jamaica, also, you're a target for any club in the Caribbean, and Trinidad will be a big target for us also. So winning the game is important, not imperative, but important. The process, the 2 days training that we have with them, albeit not enough to get enough information into them, but enough to get to know them. So the process and the performance of the team. Can they play in a team? That's the key thing. Have they got the individual talent, technique, tactical nous, intelligence to jump up to the senior national team? And basically it's just what I see, trying to get a few of the principles. We have to keep it very simple with only 2 training sessions before the first game and 1 training session before the second game. We have to keep things very simple. I want the players to showcase their talents individually, but to make sure that collectively they play as a team, because you don't qualify for anything playing as an individual. It's a team sport. So that's the first thing. Can they play with each other? Can we get cohesion quickly? I know we have players from 2 or 3 clubs mainly, but I'm looking forward to working with them. The process, the performance, and ultimately you get the performance a win, because there is massive interest from what I hear from the local supporters. We want everybody to turn up and make this a special occasion for the 2 camps, one in Mobay or one in Kingston. Perfect time for people from around the island to see these players firsthand.
Okay, thank you so much, Coach.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much, Robert Williams, IRFM.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. Coach, just to follow up on the Tyreek McGee, is it a case that he is asked not to be included? Is he unavailable because of the options, or is it a case that he has been left out?
He's not on the island. I think he's sorting his future out. So Tyreek would be involved, but at the present, he's not available.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you very much, Robert. Anybody else, please raise your hand again to indicate questions you may have. Let's hear from Dwight Spence. Good morning, sir. Go ahead.
Good morning, Simon. Good morning, Coach McLaren.
Hi, Dwight.
How are you doing? So this is Dwight Spence. Do some work with the regularboys.com. A couple interesting, or 1 or 2 interesting players I see on the squad. Nathaniel Howe and I believe Joshua Grant. They're both from the 2020, the 2005 age group. Are you seeking to get more players that are top level U20 players involved in these type of games, friendlies, so forth, with the senior boys going forward as we go through this World Cup cycle?
The age for me is nothing. It's just a number. If they're good enough, that's what we're looking for. Anything that can improve our squad, can improve our team for the World Cup campaign coming up. That's what we're looking for in this camp. Merrin has been through it, and we said just to make up the squad, because we may get injuries, just to help in training, that we may give 2 or 3 people, young players, an opportunity to gain some experience. That's what they're doing. If they gain experience and they're better than who they're playing against, and they're good enough, they will play. So everybody in this squad has an opportunity, and a real opportunity, to make the World Cup squads going forward.
Thank you. And one other question, if I may, Simon.
Go ahead.
What's your thoughts and what have you seen on Chanel Thomas? He's been doing real well for Montego Bay United. What are your thoughts on his future involvement with some of the injuries that we have on the front line and what he brings to the squad, and his future maybe club-wise and with the Reggae Boyz?
Yeah, I've seen him one game and yeah, very impressed with what he brought to Mobay. You're absolutely right. You know, it's been a tragedy what has happened over the Christmas period with Mikel Antonio, and you know, we're still in touch with him all the time. He's recovering. Says he may not make the March one, but he may be available in the summer, so we're hoping on that one. And in the meantime, you're absolutely right. The number 9 position is vitally important, and if we can get one top quality number 9 who can score goals from this group, I'll be absolutely delighted. That's what we're looking for. So Chanel is just one of them players who is given this opportunity. You know, it's not just this camp, but it's also in the games that we watch them play, which I'll be following very closely.
Thank you very much to both of you.
Thank you very much, Dwight. A reminder again, please raise your hand to indicate if you have any questions for Coach McLaren. Please raise your hand in the chat and then you'll be identified, and then you can pose your question to Coach. It looks like we have one more from Robert for your second question. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, quick one again, Coach. What's the
All right.
latest can you tell us about Mason Greenwood?
It's the same message from 6 months ago. We're still waiting for one document to be found, signed, and my indications are that Mason wants to play for Jamaica, and you know, I think we respect the family's decision at the present moment. We're in their hands, and that's what we're waiting for. But we're in touch all the time with Mason, making sure that he knows and his family knows that we want him here at Jamaica in the campaign for the World Cup.
Thank you, Robert. Let's hear from, I think, Mr. Dixon on Umbrella Sports. Go ahead.
Hi, Simon. Demar here from One Umbrella Sports on behalf of Mr. Dixon. Good morning and good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Yes, just have a question in regards to Trinidad and Tobago. They have a recently new appointed coach in Dwight York. So we're not sure what to expect from his Trinidad setup. Can you tell us anything in regards to, you know, what you're expecting from him? Also in regards to what he may bring to the Caribbean in regards to high profile managers and what that can do for not only Trinidad football, but for football in the Caribbean as well.
Yeah, when he got the job, I had a quick chat with him, and I think it's you know, fantastic for CONCACAF, for the Caribbean, that Dwight comes back and manages the island in which he had so much success. Was a big player, and he's a big player and a big coach. He did very well when he was in Australia, and coming back into this scene, it's great to see. You have to, yeah, high profile. I think that's good, but he will bring so much difference already. I've seen what he's doing. If I go back, Trinidad played Cuba while we were playing the US. I watched a couple of them games. They were very organized, played very well against Cuba, won the games. And so we expect a very tough challenge. And Dwight coming in will also add to that experience. So yeah, you're right. It's going to be difficult to prepare, especially for the first game, because we don't know, is he playing a 5, a 3, a 4, 4-3-3. We don't know what formation. So we just have to focus and concentrate on our squad And obviously, it'd be great to see Dwight on Thursday and Sunday again. But I think it's a great appointment, and one in which, yes, he's high profile, he's got experience, but he's a very good coach.
Do you have a follow-up question?
No, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we have a few more minutes, folks. Please, again, indicate, and then we'll wrap this up. Again, you raise your hand. If somebody has a second question, go ahead, as we will wrap up this press conference this morning. And as you know, the squad that was highlighted earlier will be shared on our various social media platforms later today. So for editorial purposes, you'll have that alongside the recording of this press conference as well, so that you can be able to use it for your respective stories for television, radio, and print for later today. Does anybody have any more questions? All right, folks, thank you very much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. Again, as I said, we'll have this information posted quite shortly so you can use. Thank you very much. And again, February 6th and February 9th in the games. Don't forget as well to members of the media outside of Jamaica, that's on JFF Live. That is where you can watch the two games. You purchase your membership for $9.99 for the month, and you'll have access to both games. So thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to your wonderful support, not only for these upcoming games, but ahead of the busy calendar year that lies ahead for all of our national teams. Thank you very much to everybody, and have a pleasant rest of the day.